Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another adventure of the ostentatious D&D Basics. With me, Austin Shock, here to talk to you at the basics of D&D. What we're going to do today is I am going to show off a little bit of some of the D&D session that I did over the weekend with my friends. They were very, very nice and agreed to be filmed and spend, a couple hours playing D&D and not swearing, which I'm very, very grateful for. So, without further ado, we're going to start the first clip. In this clip, I'm just sort of making my character online for the one we're using. This will give you an example of how that can work. So we are now making our characters. I could make a symbol, but actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to images.google.com, and my character is a teacup. He's a teacup genie, but teacup. Then I'm going to go to Tools, Label for Use, and Transparent. Welcome back to Commentary from Future Austin. In this case, I'd just like to add in that it is Google Images that I went to, and I use labeled for reuse because then those are free from copyright, and therefore I can show them off online and really use them. And they did transparent because when something is transparent, you just have the image itself. There's no background around it, so you don't have to worry about messing up any of those details. So here we have my image. I am a teacup. Short. You know what? I'm going to have a little more fun. Are you okay if I have a little more fun with it? If you're not quite sure that something is really something you should be doing, it's always a good idea to check with your dungeon master, aka your DM, because it is their campaign too, and they might have special ideas. Alright, my DM gave me the thumbs up, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a very standard... What is... a very standard thing. Alright, come on now. These things never work when you want them to. There we go. I'm just going to say right now that his eyes are blue.
So we're using our actual characters for this game. Okay.
Yes. Actual characters. Once again, thank you all very much for your patience for letting me do this.
Oh, I'm delighted.
That isn't... Okay. Wow.
He's a little teacup, short and evil.
Chaotic and not evil.
Yeah, he's not
really... evil is not Uber Chuba's specialty. It's more like...
absolute harbinger of chaos.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my DM has very thankfully given us these squares to measure. And how does he measure up?
Looks good.
Perfect. So there are now going to be a couple of clips, and then we'll wrap things up. The first clip is going to be all about something that's not in the rulebook necessarily. It's just something that we added in because, like I keep saying, D&D is about imagination, and it's okay to have fun. So due to the nature of our campaign, we always...
percentage die. That's right, percentage die.
We always start out with a decency check to see how prepared our characters were to be spontaneously incorporated into the landscape. We do that with a percentage die. Yay. 90.
34.
90, and 34, Nico?
34.
All right, cool. So we have Poobert, who is at least solidly halfway prepared. So, he remembered to put on his undies and buckle his belt today, but maybe not a whole lot else. Uba Chuba is ripping ready to go. Possibly had a cup of caffeine today, so this should be a fun adventure. And Nico, how do you feel the 34% treats you? So
this next clip is going to be all about actual gameplay. This is a story that we are making up. It's a one-time adventure rather than a great big overarching adventure. And this is just a little teeny tiny bit for a little bit of context. We were teleported into this world. We figured out that we needed to follow these little balls of light, and we're following them along, and we'll see how it turns out. And then they actually lash out over the broken stairs. You'll look and see that the stairs were pretty heavily in a state of disrepair to the point where there was a solid 40 feet of stairs missing. And they form two little dots across the stairs, and little streams of light connect the dots between the stairs and the dots. Well, my great companions, it seems we have found the Rainbow Road, so we can either follow them, or we can see where some of these other portals go. Any thoughts?
Is it a solid being?
The string of light that are connecting the dots.
Yes.
It's about a foot across, the stream of light connecting the glowing little balls to one another and the stairs. So yeah, it's about a foot wide. If you want to see if it's solid, you can test it.
I would like to touch it, please.
Yep, so it's about a foot wide, and then...
40 feet across.
Okay.
40 feet across, connecting the place where the stairs have kind of lapsed through.
I've always wanted to do the high beams. I've always wanted to be a gymnast.
So sorry, what do you use to test it?
My hand.
Okay, it is solid when you put your hand on it.
I would like to make it change color. Actually, I'd like to make it change colors using prestidigitation. Just, I'd like to continuously make it like show different colors.
I love that spell.
Sorry?
I love that spell.
I had to remake my character, and the first thing I took was, oh my god, he can have prestidigitation. I'm taking that spell.
Oh, good. I love it. Okay. So, yeah, is it a cantrip?
Yep.
Okay, just cats. Beautiful. In which case, it does go through a myriad of different colors. Notably, one of them seems to be missing. Like, if it's going through all the colors of the rainbow, you notice that there are certain hues that it just doesn't seem to quite reach.
As I have learned as a robot, I shall hit it with a rock, because that makes things better.
You're gonna hit the light beam with a rock?
Yes.
Okay.
Nat 20.
Yes!
So that's a 20, which means that something really, really special happens. Plus my strength of +5 means that I only got a +5, but it's a nat 20, so that's all that really matters. What do I do?
So, and you smacked the beam of light, specifically.
Well, if the beam doesn't work, I'm going to start hitting the blobs of light until they work.
Okay, so then here's a question. Who was on the beam at this time? Were you on the beam at this time, Upachuba?
No, I'm standing right where it connects. Obviously, it wasn't working right because it's missing a color, so I'm not going to stand on it. It's faulty. I have to hit it with a rock until it gets better.
This is delightful. I have to figure out what this is going to do. Oh, I love this. All right. Were you standing on it, Nico?
I touched it with my hand, so
Okay.
no.
Okay, you just touched it with your hands then. Okay.
Yep.
I think it full on shakes the little orbs out of place for a moment, and you see as the light path that was before you shakes apart for a moment as the light that connected them just absolutely shatters as their sort of resonance with each other shatters. They give a little unhappy swirling around your head, and then they try to replace themselves, have some major difficulty doing it.
Okay, but do I succeed in bringing that last color back? Do I succeed in making it work to get that last color back? Because that was a nat 20.
It was a nat 20. It was a nat 20. I'm trying to figure out how I want this to work.
So while the official rules do say that a nat 20 should only apply to an attack roll in combat, the majority of people I have ever played with agree that it should extend out to any dice roll within reason. So, for example, while a nat 20 on a strength check can give you Herculean strength to, say, lift a boulder, it won't necessarily give you the strength to lift a city. Maybe just a building or two. Chaos Demon.
Yes, complete Chaos Demon. I love this. So, for the barest instant, it does.
So basically what happens there is that the Dungeon Master is trying to cue us through these little balls of light and differences in the environment that this was the direction to go. However, we knew that, but we didn't really want to go in that direction for reasons that I will go into in a separate video where I kind of deconstruct this experience and go through what some of the things the DM did really well and some of the things that my Dungeon Master needed to improve on. The other points were things that we wanted to do. The druid rune priest person, we're still figuring out her class a little bit, did a spell, a very basic spell called Prestidigitation, which basically does a small magical effect. Because it is a cantrip, what that means is that it can be cast without any kind of ingredients or spell slots or what have you, which I will go into in more detail when I do the videos about how to read a character sheet and how to use magic. Well, this has been another adventure of the ostentatious. If you like to tell your friends, if you hated to tell your enemies, if you don't care either way, tell everyone. Today we saw some actual D&D gameplay with a little bit of possibly confusing commentary thrown into the mix. Stay safe, be amazing, and happy quarantine.